O'Doyle rules.
Thanks a lot, O'Doyle. Nice meeting you.
Fellas, you're saving my life.
O'Doyle rules.
O'Doyle, I got a feeling your whole family's going down. But for now, I gotta study.
Hey! Who rules? O'Doyle rules! 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 O'Doyle rules!
O'Doyle rules. Volcker rules. Volcker rules. Wait, what? Wait, welcome back, guys. Today is May 30th, 2018. Yeah, so we're going to be talking about the Volcker Rule. Right? Am I saying it right? Volcker Rule? Whatever. We're going to talk about it, and you're going to find out exactly what that is and what the fuck I'm talking about. Let's just go through the news real quick. I'll give you the updates at the end of the episode. How's that? All right? I'm sorry if I'm a little close to the camera. I'm trying to see if I can get better audio out of this thing. So yeah, let's start going down the docket, all right, real quick, and so we can talk about what's going on. So we're gonna talk about the Volcker Rule, okay? This new thing. I'm gonna link the thing in the bottom so you guys can read the whole article, and we're gonna talk about that, the banks, and NAFTA, and how everything is correlating, and what the fuck is really going on with all this shit. So, all right, I want to make sure. Okay, I got it here. God, it's fucking already getting hot and humid in here. But, anyways, so what the fuck is the Volcker Rule? God, I'm like the worst at preparing. Okay, so you guys remember the bailouts? You guys remember the bailouts not too long ago, 2007-8? Well, guess what? They're coming back with a vengeance, a revenge, you know? So, like, I guess since you guys are already used to them remaking movies and remaking everything, I guess they're remaking The Big Short. No, but yeah, like, so, okay, so this came up today when I was watching, actually on Twitter, and Gregory Menorino texted this out on, anyway. So what the Volcker, what pretty much what the Volcker Rule is supposed to, okay, what that rule is supposed to limit trading, okay? Prepared, so, in order to kind of keep, things in check. So I'm gonna just really condense it. They want to, most likely it's gonna happen. They're gonna repeal these rules. Once they repeal these rules, or change them altogether, but most likely repeal them, what's gonna happen is that now, like all the trading, all the bonds, all that whatever, there's really not going to be any limit. They're really not going to have any kind of jurisdiction type thing. They're not going to have any oversight. They're not going to have anything. So it's really going to ramp things up. So for example, as we see the markets struggle every day when it comes to like the bonds, and they're buying back all the bonds because all this cash is coming back into the United States, and they're all the money that's being repatriated, these corporations, instead of putting it into their dividends and giving it to their shareholders, or spreading out the wealth even more to the public and to the people, what are they doing? They're just buying back their own stock and inflating themselves and inflating the whole scenario. As we know, ever since 2007, 2008, the big banks especially, have only gotten bigger and stronger. And guess what? We have gotten poorer and poorer. They have gotten richer and richer and lending less and less. And that's only continuing. Gold, silver, cryptos, all being suppressed, all being manipulated. And again, it's all because of what they're doing. So now, again, for those of you that have not heard me say this already like 100 zillion times, Bitcoin is going to get to 100K by the end of the year. And if this is not proof enough or another piece to that puzzle, then I don't know what is. Okay? Because again, if they take more rules away and allow the markets to go even crazier and allow them to have even less rules and continue this insanity, then that's what they're going to do.
Not yet. Almost. 220, take him. 209. Yeah, got him. 139. 140. Hey, to me. Let me have this.
Now,
Southbound in April at 142!
That's not right. How can the price be going down?
Something's wrong. Where's Wilson?
What are they doing here?
They're selling, Mortimer.
Well, that's ridiculous. Unless that crop report...
God help us!
I told you we shouldn't have committed everything, you asshole!
Happy New Year!
Winthrop. Valentine.
Hey, how'd y'all make out today?
How could you do this to us after everything we've done for you?
Oh, see, I made Lewis a bet here. Lewis bet me that we couldn't both get rich and put y'all in the poorhouse at the same time. He didn't think we could do it. I won.
I lost. $1.
Thank you, Lewis.
After you.
Certainly.
Margin call, gentlemen. Oh, you can't expect us to...
You know the rules of the exchange, Mr. Duke. All accounts to be settled at the end of the day's trading, without exception.
You know perfectly well we don't have $394 million in cash.
I'm sorry, boys. Put the Duke brothers' seats on the exchange up for sale at once. Seize all assets of Duke and Duke Commodities Brokers, as well as all personal holdings of Randolph and Mortimer Duke.
My God. We're ruined.
This is an outrage. I demand an investigation. You can't sell our seats. A Duke has been sitting on this exchange since it was founded. We founded this exchange. It's ours. It belongs to us.
My God.
Mortimer, your brother's not well. We better call an ambulance.
Fuck him.
And then when they crash again, as you know, as this article and as Gregory Mannarino was explaining, all this is setting in place is another bailout. So when the crash happens in a few months, when everything just topples down again, they're ready to bail them out again and continue this. Remember what I was saying before, and I'll keep saying it again. This is going to be a longer process than we think, okay? And even if the dollar falls like 40 years or some shit like that, or less, it's still not going to be the end all game, you know, for this country at least, and not for, you know, these things take a while. But again, like what were they saying? Yeah, you know, Italy, you know, is, you know, planning on leaving the EU. I mean, they know that, you know, it's either A, bailouts, or B, you know, become their own sovereign thing. They're trying to do that. We don't know if that's going to work. You know, Greece, other countries have tried that. Catalonia, etc., etc. You know, that hasn't been working out too well. Brexit, you know, you name it. So that's going on over there. And again, everything is just, you know, it's only a ticking time bomb. Everything is just getting, you know, closer and closer, and eventually it's going to blow up. The bubble will pop. So, you know, right now, you know, what's happening is that we're just, you know, we're watching it literally second by second, minute by minute, what's going on. And, you know, what's really, you know, what's going on is the fact that, you know, we're still far away from the hyperinflation state, but we are about to, this is the really, really beginning stages of like inflation, like hardcore inflation. So, coming to a gas station near you, expect to start paying higher gas prices, okay? Because what they're going to do is they're going to start, you know, putting inflation into commodities like oil, like food, like, you know, things like that, and then blame it on whatever. And things like, because they can't put it into the whole economy at once, so they got to just, you know, put it on the, you know, on oil, and then make gas really expensive, and then blame it on Venezuela or Iran or on the fucking whatever, and so on and so forth, okay? And it's going to get to the point where, you know, by the end of the year, you know, we're going to see a crash. All right. Once we see that crash, again, I don't know, but this is just my guess. All altcoins, okay, for the most part, will disappear. All right, not overnight, but you know, by, you know, January of next year. A lot of them will be gone, and the only projects that will still remain are projects that don't need funding, that don't need, VCs, that don't need any of that bullshit, that don't need, all $7 billion in Ethereum just to fucking, put a white paper out. So, all these projects that are already like self-sustained, they already have a working thing, all these, there's a lot of projects out there like that. Those are the ones that are going to survive. And then from those, whoever creates anything worth anything for the future, as we've discussed many times here before, then those will be the few that survive. So out of 1,000 something, let's just say a heavy estimate would be like 30 to 40, maybe 50 will survive, okay? And out of those, again, maybe 10 will really survive, okay? And that's really what's going to happen. So, and I'm counting everything from Bitcoin all the way down, all right? And again, I could be wrong, but, with the numbers, but not necessarily by much, honestly, because we've already seen this before many times. So, that's what's happening in that aspect, okay? Like at the end of the day, if you're a trader, if you're into that whole space, continue. Don't worry, we still got a ways to go. The Dow and the stock markets are going to continue going up. The crypto markets will still be, okay? Don't be surprised if these rules will also, kind of like, overlap and also count for the whole crypto market space, the new crypto market space once it's online within the stock exchange and that whole thing. So we really don't know the true implications of this, but we kind of do, because again, these Volcker rules were put in place a few years back, and we already know what happened when we didn't have them in place. So, and yeah, so I mean, the reality is that like I was discussing with a friend of mine over this weekend. I keep bringing it up because this is how funny how all this is the topics of discussion, but. Look, I'm going to put it to you like this. Even people like Soros, even people on MSNBC, and the Confederacy of Dunces, like the legacy financial media, they themselves are already calling it. They themselves are already like, hey, maybe, be careful. Hey, the thing. Whatever. And again, they are trying to get people to buy in that whole fucking thing. But even them, they're kind of like stepping back a little bit, but not really. Remember, they don't really, they're the worst, They're telling you to buy as the thing is that, all the way at the bottom. But the reality is that all this is, all the things that I've been talking about are, again, becoming a reality. They are what is it? They're becoming a reality. Like all these, again, remember the whole history thing. So it doesn't seem like the Trumpinator is going to be bailing any motherfucking banks out. It really does seem that we're going to be in for, once the next crash happens, we're going to be in for another bailout. Once that bailout happens, most likely, again, just because we look at what's happening around the world, we're crazy complacent in this country, more so than in others. So we're going to fucking take it again as a country. We're going to take the whole bailout again. We might complain, we might protest, we might whatever, but at the end of the day, we're going to fucking take it because it's just the way it is. It's up to you guys. I mean, don't blame the fucking messenger. I'm just telling you the truth. And then as you guys take it again, and by you guys, I mean any developed country, anyone like or Canada or fucking the United States or Australia, you name it, whatever, Europe. As you guys take it again, then what's going to happen is that now we're in the final stage of the total collapse, meaning that the next fall and the again from the rebuilding of the 2008-2009 crash, from that point on forward, we're going to start seeing the hyperinflation. Now, it might not happen right away. It might not happen for like 6 months to a year from there. So it might not start to like 2010. Who the fuck knows? But that is the final stage. Okay? Again, if you guys don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, look for reference at the link down below, which is Mike Maloney's History of Money, I think episode 5, 6, some shit like that. I'm not quite sure, as he explains Weimar Germany. And as you watch that episode and you correlate it with everything that's happening to you personally today, then you will fucking realize, holy shit, okay? We're not there yet. We're there. We're so close. But we're not there just yet, okay? So, and again, with that being said, if Bitcoin is going to be at 100K by the end of the year, where the fuck is it going to be in the next year, in the next year, and the next year? And then once you realize, like I've said this over and over and over again. Once you realize that Bitcoin, gold, commodities, all this bullshit is priced in US fucking dollars, and as hyperinflation happens, that is when you're going to see the crazy increase in price. So again, remember what hyperinflation is. You know, that's when you're paying $100,000 for a fucking haircut, which, by the way, I'm still debating if I should get here or over there. But anyway, you know, yeah, when you're paying $100,000 for a motherfucking haircut, and it's only because those $100,000 are not worth it at all. You know, they're not, those paper, you know, they're worthless pieces of paper. You get what I mean? That's why it costs so much, because you need that many just to get a motherfucking haircut. So that's why when you're going to see $100,000 Bitcoin, $1 million Bitcoin, etc., it's because they're only because they're priced in fucking dollars. Okay? Same thing with everything else. And when everything corrects to fair market value, okay, meaning that whatever the stock market is, whatever all these things are, whatever all these commodities are. So let's say a house that's worth $1 million today, whenever the market crashes, it will be worth, so what's 2/3 less? It'll be worth $300,000, give or take. That would be fair value, okay? And that goes along the line with everything else. So let's say a $30,000 car is really going to be worth less than $10,000, and so on and so forth. And again, that goes backwards with everything else. So for example, gold that's worth 1,200, 1,300, whatever the fuck it is now, whatever the fuck they dropped it to now, that will go up exponentially. All right, so that's what we're going to see: a $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 ounce. You know, what is it per ounce per gold? And same thing with silver, same thing with cryptos. You know, we've already talked about this many times over. So
we are here to try to explain to you what it is we do here.
We are commodities brokers, William. Now, what are commodities? Commodities are agricultural products, like coffee that you had for breakfast, wheat, which is used to make bread, pork bellies, which is used to make bacon, which you might find in a bacon and lettuce and tomato sandwich. And then there are other commodities like frozen orange juice and gold. Though, of course, gold doesn't grow on trees like oranges. Clear so far?
Yeah.
Good, William. Now, some of our clients are speculating that the price of gold will rise in the future, and we have other clients who are speculating that the price of gold is going to fall. They place their orders with us, and we buy or sell their gold for them.
Tell them the good part.
The good part, William, is that no matter whether our clients make money or lose money, Duke and Duke get the commissions.
Well, what do you think, Valentine?
Well, it sounds to me like you guys are a couple of bookies.
I told you he'd understand.
And that's it. And then as the process continues, you know, in the sense that, let's say that, hold on a second, get it. Fuck, sorry, my nose. As the process continues and all this shit continues, you know, we're going to start, 1 second, guys. Ugh, anyway, fucking allergies. Anyway, so yeah, you know, as this process continues, it's gonna, you know, exacerbate in the sense that, like, you know, what I mean, where the process continues, meaning that, like, you know, as a process of, you know, the world leaving the U.S. dollar and either, you know, going as, you know, turning to the yuan, the petro yuan as the main currency, or maybe Bitcoin or whatever. But as that transition happens, you know, again, it's going to be a process. And even when the transition happens, let's say that the US dollar is knocked out, it's still not going to end the dominance of the US dollar. Because look, I'm just going to give you a brief time in our history, 2 times in our history where this already happened. During the Civil War, okay, Lincoln had the option or the choice to have the Civil War financed by the banks, the central banks, and he said no, and he told them to go fuck themselves. And then what he did is he issued these things called greenbacks, aka the dollar that we kind of know of today, just so you get an idea. And then it happened again. I think Kennedy was the next motherfucker right before they, you know, it was like, whoa, how dare you, motherfucker. But yeah, he was another motherfucker that introduced the new greenback. So that's what I think is going to happen once everything topples and the fucking dollar is worth nothing and the whole fucking economy in the world is all over the place and we're trying to change over to the yuan and did all this shit. Well, in order for this country not to fucking fall straight into the motherfucking toilet, what's gonna happen is that, you know, we're gonna again issue out a new greenback, a new U.S. dollar, and it might be backed by gold, and it will most likely only be used by U.S. citizens in the U.S. and only here and in this country, and it will most likely not be accepted outside of these borders. All right, just like any other currency, just like you can't use a Chinese fucking yuan to purchase anything in the U.S., or you can't use Australian dollars to purchase anything in the U.S. and things like that. So that's coming. All right, guys, that's it. I gotta go. I really gotta go. I'm gonna give you a quick update. Tomorrow will be the last day here, filming here. The next day I'm gonna be probably filming at the Villas, and then the next day I'm gonna be filming the trip. I'm gonna be filming everything from now on. I don't got much to do really. I mean, I do and I don't, but like what I'm gonna do today is I gotta go get some luggage and duffel bags and that bullshit, and then pack everything up. I'm probably gonna see if I can film a little bit of that so you guys can get a look at that and just whatever. Now, usually when I vlog and I go on my trips, I do film everything with my huge camera equipment. But since this is a huge move and I'm doing a lot of things, I might not be able to do that. So just kind of get used to this GoPro for probably a few more days, less than a week, because I'm probably going to do the whole trip on this thing, okay? It's kind of limited, but hey, man, you know, like at the end of the day, you know, I got to make it all happen, okay? So and I really do want to film and do all this. Now, let's talk about my trip and why I'm doing this more than anything. As I'm planning this out, as I'm fucking getting ready to go out, as I'm fucking setting everything up, every single day is just every single second, every single action that I take is just like a wow. This is exactly what I need to be doing for many reasons, and it's not just that. Like, it's like, you know, whether I'm calling my bank to kind of let them know what's going on, and they're fucking yelling at me like how dare, and like, you know, it's and it's just, you know, one thing after another. I'm listening to I was reading Twitter yesterday, and if you guys don't know what happened to Roseanne, you know what I mean? Like, she got just fucking fired for speaking her mind. A friend of mine was telling me about, you know, someone in, I want to say Europe or something, that, you know, made some Holocaust denial videos, and all of a sudden she got like in huge trouble or whatever the fuck. And again, not that I'm proposing any of that, okay? At the end of the day, I just believe in free speech, whether it's good, bad, ugly, it doesn't motherfucking matter. We need to have it, period, okay? And shit like that. So, you know, everything is just fucking falling apart. Everything is just crazy falling apart. And, you know, the whole move down there doesn't seem as crazy anymore, or as, you know, I get this going. And again, the main reason, the real reason why I'm doing this more than anything is because I want to set a template, set a blueprint for you guys, for anyone out there that is even curious, that wants to do this, it really is just scared and can't, and anything like that. So look, I'm gonna give you like, let's just start today. One of the main concerns that I had with, you know, booking my situation was that I was trying to book everything with Bitcoin, and I was just trying to avoid the whole banking system and trying to get out of that whole system, period, for a million reasons. And you guys already know, if you guys are probably dealing with these situations yourselves, okay? We'll leave it there. So that was my main concern, and especially traveling abroad and all that stuff. But again, as I'm fucking getting my flight, getting the place, getting that, I have no problems. And why was I concerned about this? Well, because when I'm here in the States and I'm trying to use my BitPay card to pay my Verizon bill, to pay, you know, just legacy type things here in this country, they make it crazy impossible. But all of a sudden, when I'm just doing regular fucking business anywhere else, it's no problem. So again, as I go out there, as I live out there and all that whole fucking thing, I'm going to be, you know, living off the crypto world, living off crypto space, and then using fiat wherever the fuck I am as a means of exchange. That's exactly what it is. So, you know, I got my wealth, I got my real currency, my real money, actually, my real money, and then I get my real money and I exchange my real money for currency, and then using that currency to eat, pay bills, etc., etc. And what will be the currency of choice? It just depends on where I am, okay? And once you get, you know, again, I'm going to be constantly, you know, I guess not just teaching about this, but like, you know, just giving you the real world examples so that you guys can really get the idea. Because even for me, it's for all of us, you know, but just get the idea so we can separate what money is from currency, okay? Your crypto, your gold, your silver, your property, your anything like that, that is your money. That is your value. That is your hard work. That is your wealth. Currency, That's just pieces of paper that we use to interchange bullshit, okay? Two different things. We get it confused and we spend our whole motherfucking lives as slaves to get this currency just so that we can pay fucking bills and never attain real wealth, okay? So anyways, guys, all right. I know it's a mouthful. I'm trying, I'm going to edit this and put a couple funny links in there and we'll go from there. But I don't know when I'm going to stick it in there, but I'm definitely sticking in this speech of Ross Perot. If you haven't seen it already, whatever.
The candidates will have an opportunity to make a closing statement. So, President Bush, I think you said it earlier, let's get it on.
Let's go.
And I think the first question is over here.
Yes, I'd like to direct my question to Mr. Perot. What will you do as president to open foreign markets to fair competition from American business and to stop unfair competition here at home from foreign countries so that we can bring jobs back to the United States?
That's right at the top of my agenda. We've shipped millions of jobs overseas, and we have a strange situation because we have a process in Washington where after you've served for a while, you cash in, become a foreign lobbyist, make $30,000 a month, then take a leave, work on presidential campaigns, make sure you got good contacts, and then go back out. Now, if you just want to get down to brass tacks, first thing you ought to do is get all these folks who've got these one-way trade agreements that we've negotiated over the years and say, fellas, we'll take the same deal we gave you. And they'll gridlock right at that point because, for example, we've got international competitors who simply could not unload their cars off the ships if they had to comply. You see, if it was a two-way street, just couldn't do it. We have got to stop sending jobs overseas. To those of you in the audience who are business people, pretty simple. If you're paying $12, $13, $14 an hour for factory workers, and you can move your factory south of the border, pay $1 an hour for labor, hire a young 25, that's assuming you've been in business for a long time, you've got a mature workforce. Pay $1 an hour for your labor, have no health care, that's the most expensive single element in making a car, have no environmental controls, no pollution controls, and no retirement, and you don't care about anything but making money, there will be a giant sucking sound going south. So if the people send me to Washington, the first thing I'll do is study that 2,000-page agreement and make sure it's a two-way street. One last point here. I decided I was dumb and didn't understand it, so I called a who's who of the folks who've been around it. And I said, why won't everybody go south? They said, we'll be disruptive. I said, for how long? I finally got them up for 12 to 15 years. And I said, well, how does it stop being disruptive? And that is when their jobs come up from $1 an hour to $6 an hour and ours go down to $6 an hour, then it's leveled again. But in the meantime, you've wrecked the country with these kinds of deals. We've got to cut it out.
Thank you, Mr. Perot. I see that the president...
I'm putting it here. And that's it. All right, guys. Seriously. Thank you guys so much for all your love, your support, for watching, for donating, for your comments, for your love, for your fucking everything. Seriously, okay? You're why I wake up in the morning, all right? So again, please like, please subscribe, please share, please, help a brother out. And again, I'll see you guys mañana, which will be Thursday, right? Yeah, Thursday. Holy shit. Fuck, the week is just fucking... Anyway, all right, guys. Bye-bye. I still can't figure out how to turn this thing off.